Kevin Costner's lowest-rated movie was originally intended for Harrison Ford. Hollywood actor Kevin Costner has been a dominating force in entertainment for over 4 decades. With appearances in everything from westerns like Yellowstone to historical dramas like Hidden Figures, Costner has undeniably cracked the code to success within the film and television industry. Despite Costner's stunning performances, not all of his films can hold that same beloved status, with a few receiving some negative reviews. One film, in particular, stands out among the lower ranks, one with a role originally written with Harrison Ford in mind. Dragonfly is a 2002 fantasy thriller featuring Kathy Bates and Linda Hunt. Costner landed the lead role of Joe Darrow after it reportedly fell through with Ford. Although the role added another leading performance to his filmography, Costner probably could have done without this one, considering the film has a meager 7% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. However, it also has a 62% audience rating. Is Dragonfly really as bad as the critics say? Did Ford dodge a bullet by turning down the role, or does the film offer more value than it is given credit for? The film follows Joe Darrow, Kevin Costner, a doctor in a Chicago hospital who has just lost his pregnant wife, Emily Darrow, Susanna Thompson, in a landslide. Right after the tragic events, Joe returns to work, failing to properly grieve his late wife and unborn child. She was a doctor in the same hospital, so Joe agreed to take on her case despite the emotional turmoil that he was currently experiencing. Matters are only made worse after Joe begins to experience supernatural occurrences surrounding Emily's belongings. Soon after, Emily's patients start to have near-death experiences, losing consciousness only to return with mysterious messages that they claim are from Emily. These messages grow stranger and more urgent as the film continues, and Joe must confront his own deteriorating mental state as he questions his sanity in the face of these disturbing encounters. Ford, Costner, and the role of Joe Darrow in Dragonfly. According to Far Out magazine, Harrison Ford was originally the top choice to play Joe Darrow. The character was written with him already in mind. However, Ford reportedly turned down the role because he wanted to take a year-long break from acting in movies. Ford returned to the film scene later in 2002, playing the lead role in Kathryn Bigelow's war thriller, K-19, The Widowmaker. As a result of Ford turning down the role, Costner landed the part. Unfortunately, his acting performance in the film was not notable, receiving far more criticism than praise. To be fair, much negativity is directed at the dialogue, which is just as much the fault of the writers as it is of the actors who bring it to life. However, many critics have also voiced their confusion about why Costner was willing to take on the role in the first place, considering the film bombed with critics and the box office alike. Audience opinions contrast the critics of Dragonfly. According to the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, who gave the film a 7% rating, Dragonfly is filled with melodramatic clichés and a plot that tries to build up to an exciting ending that never comes. Many noted that the film is simply a bad attempt to do the same thing that audiences have already seen with similar movies, like The Sixth Sense, for example. Others noted that the balance of genres was unsuccessful, with the thriller elements overshadowing the romance, which only became distracting when it occasionally surfaced in the narrative. However, general audiences weren't quite as harsh, giving the film a 62% rating. Those who did not like the movie echoed the same problems that the critics noted, but others felt that Dragonfly's premise was fascinating, with many calling it underrated. Some audience members said the film's sorrowful premise had an emotional impact on them, with Costner's acting amplifying that effect. Despite what the critics had to say about the ending, the film's final twist could certainly leave you shocked and satisfied with the conclusion of the plot's events.